Alex Duncan was sure she was melting. After 10 years, living on the face of the sun should start feeling normal. However, there was no way it was normal for her car to be a sauna in the early days of March. Pushing a strand of dark hair from her face, she dug around her purse until she found a hairband to wrap the long length of it off her neck. She pushed her sunglasses up her nose. The light gleamed off the asphalt, blinding her at times. She sighed. Someday she was going to convince Blake they needed to move from this place. Las Vegas wasn't the city it used to be. Turning down her street, she waved at her neighbor. He was outside in his robe again, watering his grass again, on a day that was a no-water day. Alex laughed to herself. Some people were not meant for the establishment, and that was definitely her neighbor Gary. The man had to be 70 years old, and Alex was sure she had never seen him fully clothed. Luckily, she had never seen him in less than his robe, but sometimes she was sure that was all he was wearing. Alex pulled into her driveway and quickly exited her car once the air conditioner stopped blowing on her face. Popping the trunk of her van, she loaded her hands with grocery bags. Blake always complained about her random grocery shopping, but it was a habit that Alex couldn't shake from her childhood. Her father always instilled a sense of being prepared in Alex. So whenever canned foods or dehydrated foods were on sale, or she found random coupons, she stocked up. Blake wasn't home to lecture her this time. Alex smiled to herself. As she walked to her door, she could hear the random shrieks from inside, and she felt bad for her babysitter Lucy. Her two crazies could cause more havoc than a tornado ripping through a trailer park on their best days. Her daughter Billy was a rambunctious 7-year-old that enjoyed bossing her younger brother Henry around. Most of the bossing around turned into some sort of prank or troublemaking that Billy's little brain came up with. However, at 5, Henry followed his sister as if she hung the moon and lived on it. Leaning to hit the button on the wall, Alex could barely hear the doorbell over the screams. She hoped Lucy heard it soon because her hands were getting numb. The door promptly flew open and a messy-haired Billy stood in the doorway. Alex took a second to take in the appearance of her daughter. There was no doubt she was Blake's clone, her almost white blonde hair with a distinct wave, and her blue eyes that no one couldn't notice. Currently, though, those eyes were covered in dark sunglasses that were 2 sizes too big for her face, and the rest of the exposed skin seemed to be covered in paint. She was wearing camo leggings, camo shirt, with a bright pink tutu around her waist. Alex lifted one eyebrow, looking at Billy, which caused her daughter to shriek in delight and run from the door. Alex just shook her head. She had never tried to curb her daughter's extensive imagination. She knew someday it would help her in life, and she wanted Billy to have a magical childhood. A childhood very opposite her own. Alex didn't regret how her childhood was, but her father, Mitch Duncan, was what was called a prepper nowadays. He raised Alex and her siblings with very little fun and a lot of responsibility. There was love and laughter, but anything that was found to be unrealistic in Mitch's views was unnecessary for his children.
"Mommy!"
A shriek sounded as Alex stepped inside the door. Henry's dark head peered from the downstairs office. Studying him, Alex couldn't help but laugh aloud. Apparently, after Billy made herself into a female Rambo, she made her brother into a cross-dressed Ken doll. His face was covered in what looked like to be makeup, with a very Joker-like feel. "Henry, did Billy do that to you?" He nodded emphatically and looked sheepishly at Alex. She just smiled at him warmly and headed to the kitchen. Smells of dinner greeted her as she entered. Lucy was standing at the stove, stirring, with music playing. Billy was twirling nearby, apparently deciding to take a break from Rambo and be a ballerina. Unloading her grocery bags on the table, she grabbed Billy's hand and twirled her quicker, causing her to giggle. "Lucy, you don't have to cook dinner, you know." Alex said to her babysitter. Lucy was an older woman. Could have been her mother's age if she was still alive. That thought made Alex's heart twist, just a bit, but she put the thought aside. I know, but I know it's hectic with Blake out of town. Lucy replied and smiled at Alex. Well, thank you. I'm going to get the rest of the bags out of the car. Alex headed back outside and grabbed the rest of the bags. Slamming the trunk, she looked around her neighborhood. She rarely saw people outside, especially during the days when it was hottest. Mostly it was quiet, and Alex was grateful for that. Homes in Las Vegas were pretty close together, and there wasn't a whole lot of privacy. Alex didn't care to know all of her neighbors' dirty secrets or have them know hers. When Alex entered the house again, she heard the phone ringing. By the sound of pounding feet, Billy was running to answer it, despite being told numerous times she shouldn't. Duncan residence, how may I help you? Billy's greeting was practiced, as she was determined to be an adult well before she turned 8. Auntie Max! Yes, I am being good, mostly. Well, I did hit Henry, and Mommy said it wasn't nice, but he wouldn't play Army Barbie with me. He doesn't want to be the Barbies.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.